Let me know if it stops recording. Sometimes it does. Okay, number three. Number three is this one. They're all a little bit different. Okay. 6. Now I wanted to do one with you from the very beginning. That way I can show you the most efficient way to do it. Like what's the fastest, easiest way to do these problems. Okay. So what I suggest you always do first, okay, is your y-intercept. These aren't rules. You don't have to do that, but that's what I suggest because I think that's the easiest way. So for y-intercept, you must remember that x equals 0. Always. Okay? I'm going to put all the answers on the right side. Okay, so the first answer we're going to get is the y-intercept. And I already know that x will be 0 because always the x is 0 for the y-intercept. Okay? Always. So now what I do is I just plug in 0 into the x's. 0, 0 squared, 5 times 0 plus 6. Okay. And if you do that math, all those zeros just cancel. And so you just end up with 6 over 6. Remember, this is y equals. And 6 over 6 is just 1. Yeah, so just 1. And so that's this. Okay, so there's our y-intercept. It's going to touch at 0, 1. Okay. Okay, guys, anybody have a question on that first part? All right, excellent. The second part, after you do that, I suggest you do your HA and your OA. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to do this. So again, I have to write it down. So this is, we're doing 3, right? 3, 2x plus 6. Okay, so for number 3, okay, I look at the powers. That's a power of 1. That's a power of 2. So is that Bobo, Button, or Betsy? Bobo, right? Bigger on the bottom. So is this a Bobo problem? Because 2 is bigger, right? And so Bobo stands for O. At the bottom is your HA is y equals 0. That's what the O stands for at the bottom. So immediately I have 2 more answers. I know my HA is y equals 0, and immediately you should also know your OA. What is the OA? None, right? Because you can't have both. So if you have one, you don't have the other. None. And now we have 3 pieces of information. Okay. Any questions on Bobo and Button and stuff? No? Okay. Lastly, or third, you factor. Okay, this is Monday stuff, 210. Factoring is where your x-intercept comes from, your vertical asymptote, your what else? Your hole in your hole. Okay, so here it is, 2x plus 6. The rest will come from here. I think this is the only part that's going to slow you down is, you know, how good you are at factoring, right? Because we have different types of factoring, GCF, difference of squares, trinomials. So like the top one's a GCF. I can take out a 2. The bottom one is a trinomial. So that one breaks to 2 of these. So I'm trying to figure out what number times what number multiplies to 6, but adds to 5. But the thing is, since they're both positive, both of these have to, that's why those don't work. 3 and 2. Okay, yeah, 3 and 2. And it just takes us a little bit, but it's okay, right? We can figure it out eventually. So 3 and 2. So there it is factored. We're good, guys, so far? Okay, I'm going to write this on here, but I'll have to erase it on the test, but that's the parts you have to know. Okay, the whatever cancels is your whole. The top one that doesn't cancel is your x-intercept, and the bottom one that doesn't cancel is your vertical asymptote. Okay, so let's begin there. Cancel, that's our whole. Oops. The whole is a point. Hey.
There's a program for Emily.
Emily. Do we have an Emily in this class? Yeah, I don't think we do. Yeah. Whole x, y. Yeah. And so it is the opposite of that. So -3, okay, not +3. So again, this comes from here because it canceled. Okay. Are we good so far, guys? Is that good? Makes sense? Okay. By the way, well, I guess let's go ahead. And how do we get the y of the whole? The y of the whole comes from plugging into the leftovers. Okay, leftovers. What I mean by leftover is like what's left over after you cancel. That's what's left over. Right? So I'm going to plug in, you know how I have x equals -3, right? I'm going to plug in that right there. And that's going to give us our y. Okay. So let's do this. 2 over -3 plus 2, 2 over -1, and 2 divided by -1 is -2. There's your y. No. Okay. So here we go. That's probably the most math you have to do is there when you're just plugging back in. Okay. Questions so far, guys? No? Okay. Bottom that doesn't cancel, that's your VA. Okay, so there's our vertical asymptote. So our VA is located at x equal -2. Now remember, a vertical asymptote is a line, so it's not a point. You don't get an x and a y. Just okay. Is that good? The VA makes sense? Yep. Okay. Now the top one that does, this is maybe confusing to you as a student. The top one that doesn't cancel is the x-intercept. What didn't cancel on the top is a 2, but a 2 is not a factor. There's no x there. So I don't have an x, so we have no x-intercept. Okay. No x-intercept. So none. Now in this example, it didn't happen, but on the other problems, it does happen. You can have multiple x-intercepts. You could have multiple vertical asymptotes. You don't have to have just one. Okay. Now we need to clarify domain. Okay. The domain will be from, you just have to jump over the whole and the vertical asymptote. More specifically, the x of the whole and the vertical asymptote. So the x of the whole is -3 and the vertical asymptote is -2. So I go from -infinity, and then you do which one comes first if you're going from left to right. -3 or -2? -3. Right, so -3 comes first, and we jump over -3, and then we go all the way to -2, jump over -2, and then all the way to infinity.
Why was it negative?
Which one? This one?
Like, no.
This one. You're always going to go, because it's all real numbers, so you're always going from -infinity to +infinity. Always. And you just jump over those two things. Good question. Anybody else, guys? No? Okay, the only thing we haven't done is you put all this information on a graph. So let me show you how to do this. We haven't graphed, but it's really easy. So let's just put this. And you guys help me out. That way I don't have to scroll up and down. What was our VA at? Where's our VA? -2? Okay, so right here, -2. I put this. Okay, so we have a vertical asymptote at x equals -2. Okay. We said no x-intercept, so we do have a hole, right? Where's the hole at? -3, -2. There's -3. There's -2. There's my hole. Okay. We should have a y-intercept as well. What was it?
Oh, wait.
0, 1. So right here. Okay. And do we have a horizontal asymptote? HA? y equals 0. Okay, so right here. That's why we don't have no x-intercepts, because there's an asymptote on the x-axis. Okay. So how do you graph this? Okay, it's actually quite easy. You just have to keep in mind, I can't touch the walls, right? I can't touch the walls. So it has to touch this, but I can't get past this wall and can't get past this wall. So the only possibility is the only way, because you can't touch those asymptotes. The hole is part of the graph. Is just the hole on the graph. You treat it like a point. So the only possibility would be, and there's your graph. Yeah, very easy. You just put the stuff on there and it matches up. Okay. Any question right now, guys? Okay, the only thing that we didn't do on here that I want to touch on is a OA. Let's see. So for example, this problem has an OA and it's an equation, x minus 13. So how do you graph a OA? Just a little refresher. Slope, y-intercept. So you start with the y-intercept, negative 13, and then the slope is 1 over 1. So I go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Yeah, it's just a simple line. It's always going to be a simple line. Questions? Okay, excellent. So